A couple of days ago, my engine started making a terrible, terrible noise, and my heart sank. All right, we've got a knocking. And it's not coming from the back. If I go underneath, if you're familiar with the common causes of engine knock and want to see what was causing mine, simply use the timeline below or the timestamps in the description area to navigate past this next section. If on the other hand you are trying to diagnose your own engine knock issue, here are some potential starting points. There are 6 common causes for one's engine to develop a bad knocking sound. The first is as simple as the wrong or incorrect fuel being used, low octane fuel to be more precise. Where this happens, it causes multiple detonations in the cylinders, which in turn collide with each other, causing a knocking sound we refer to as engine knock. Multiple detonations or engine knock can also be caused by bad timing, where your spark plugs are firing incorrectly. The next cause may be a lean air-fuel mixture. This problem can be caused by bad or fouled oxygen sensors, fuel injectors, a bad fuel pump, or bad mass airflow meter. An incorrect mixture in the cylinders means incorrect burn rate, which results in multiple detonations. Another sensor to check, and our 4th cause to look into if there's a knocking sound coming from our engines, is our knock sensor. This sensor's job is to detect engine knock, and it helps our engine sort out knock automatically when it is detected. If knock is occurring in your engine, it might be that your sensor is simply bad. Of course, the worst and most feared reason that engine knock occurs is the dreaded rod knock. If bearings go bad, which they do, they can go on to spin, releasing thousands of tiny metal particles into your oil, which in turn, of course, is being circulated all around your engine, trying to reduce friction between surfaces. Oil filled with metal particles is an utter disaster. And the last cause isn't actually from within the engine itself, and that is bad belt tensioners and pulleys. When tension on belts is wrong, it can lead to slapping, ticking, and rattling that can often be mistaken as engine knock. So, with this in mind and potential rod knock hanging over my head, I now need to turn my attention over to this engine to figure out what is happening. In taking a few steps into my diagnostic process, I found the answer to the question, what the heck is making all of this noise? And it's right down here. It's actually the roller on the automatic tensioner that is going all over the place. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe its own bearing is gone. I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging. I've never seen or heard about this, but I'm really glad I decided to check the front pulleys instead of doing some of the other work first. Well, it's a new day, and that's because I had to go and buy a part. The tensioner is out, and immediately we can see how dramatic and how big the problem actually was. I'm really surprised by this, and I've actually took a picture and I sent it to a couple of mechanic friends of mine, including a rocket scientist, and he has no idea how this could have happened, and quite frankly, nor do I. So I've got the new part. Here it is, and we just need to do a quick replacement and then install this, get it in the car, get the belts all back on, and then the timing back in place, and I think we're back in business. What I'm also going to do is give you a quick demonstration of how important it is to actually check our rollers, our pulleys, and so on. Listen to this. I'm going to put it close to the mic here. That sounds terrible. Let me put this down, and here's the new one. Listen to that. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound. So that's 40, that's 45, okay. All right, that wasn't too tough. The torque specification is 45 Newton meters, and it felt quite challenging to get off. But now that it's back together and on, it's time to get it into the car. That's going on easy enough. That means no cross steering. Great. Yup, that's a toughie. It's worse with gloves on because you can't feel exactly what you're working with. Great. Number one done. Go for it. Okay, there it's moving freely, and once we release this, you'll see what happens. Okay, here we go with the release. Yeah, timing is totally out. It's gone. Problem here is that this is way too loose and this is too tight. So now we have to back it off again, readjust. All right, so it's in temporarily. The covers are all still off. The water pump is moving, but stiff enough to tell me that the timing belt is in good shape. I've also done the twist on both the belts, the timing belt and the balance belt. Balance belt feels a little bit tight, but we'll see how that goes. We can always loosen it a little bit. And then the timing is good here and at the back. Shucks, I'm always nervous at this point. Fantastic, fantastic. I'm really chuffed with what this is sounding like. I can even hear the injectors actually ticking. Whereas before, I couldn't even hear that. It was so noisy coming from down here. What I am hearing is a little bit of bearing noise, so it's likely that I'm going to have to replace these other pulleys at some point or another, but otherwise it's sounding really good, really healthy. I'm chuffed. Let's put this engine back together.